Here we go. Manuel Ugarte to Manchester United has now been confirmed. Now, yes, I'm a bit late to the party, but this saga has gone on for the last 6 to 7 weeks, and I have to give my opinion on it. I'm just over the moon that Ineos have stuck to the guns and not gone for another target. It's clear Ineos wanted Ugarte. Ugarte was the number one choice. There was no other midfield option, and Ugarte is the one. Now, like I said, I have to give my opinion on this. We've made other videos throughout the channel on Ugarte. Now it's just time to talk about him. Now he is a Manchester United player. Obviously, we'll have to wait for the official announcement, but hopefully it's in the next 24 hours so he can possibly play against Liverpool. Now he probably won't start, but he could be involved and could be a massive difference into our season. Now, first of all, my opinion on Ugarte, for what I've saw of him, he's a bulldog in midfield. You've heard the quotes that I've talked about on the channel, but if it's the first time you're watching me, Manuel Ugarte has personally come out and said that when the team has the ball, it's a game. When we don't, it's a fight. That's the mentality that we need. We need that shithouse. We need that workhorse. We need that bulldog in midfield who is aggressive, who's tenacious, who's got that quality to back himself up. You know, we all love the likes of Lisandro Martinez for a reason, because of his aggressive mentality, because of his passion, and that's what Ugarte is going to bring to Manchester United. And I just hope that he suits the Premier League and he can definitely just walk into the team and just instantly get on with it and just show his quality that I know he possesses. Now, how will he fit into the team? For me, it's clear to say that he's the ideal replacement for Casemiro. But the way I see it as well is that this could be a new system change. This could be him to come in and give Manu a bit of a break, or he could obviously replace Casemiro or bench Casemiro at times, or just be a rotation player. For me, I think Ugarte is going to be coming into Manchester United, and in the next 1 to 2 seasons, he's going to be the starting in our midfield role. So I think for the long term, he's definitely going to be the number 6 replacement. But with Casemiro, I feel like Casemiro still just shows so much quality. So maybe a possibility of a double pivot formation with these two in the likes of the 4-2-3-1 formation could be really beneficial for the likes of Ugarte and Casemiro. I feel like they'd complement each other very well. Casemiro really likes to progress up the pitch, and Ugarte is just a brilliant lone 6, in my opinion. He's not really a box-to-box midfielder, but he's also not your traditional 6. He can do the defensive work. It's hard to describe what type of midfielder he is, but all you need to know is that he doesn't back out of a challenge. He's very great when it comes to attacking and when it comes to pressing up the pitch. He's got endless stamina. You know, if you watch the game of him versus Arsenal when he was at Sporting Lisbon in the Europa League a few years ago, for me, that was, you could kind of say, especially in England, like fans started to pay attention to this Ugarte, and obviously PSG picked him up in that summer. But I personally believe that he is going to replace Casemiro, but this season it's going to be gradual unless Casemiro really falls off, or if there's an injury with Manu or Casemiro or Bruno Fernandes, for example. So I feel like that he'll be in and out of the team because Casemiro still has endless amounts of quality. But I feel like that he's that right player. You know, he's coming in and we've finally got depth in that midfield role. And to bounce off Casemiro and Ugarte, depending on the match, Casemiro can finally get a break, and maybe we'll see a better version of Casemiro because I mean, you've seen it in pre-season. I think Casemiro has really worked on himself on the first 2 games of the Premier League. Yes, we've won 1 and lost 1. But I thought Casemiro has been very, very good, considering what he was towards the end of last season, playing at centre-back, being put on his backside by the likes of Elise in the Crystal Palace defeat. I think this will give Casemiro the break he deserves. I mean, Casemiro's in his mid-30s now. He needs to start having a bit more of rest, especially when you're playing in a midfield role. So Ugarte can definitely come in and give Casemiro a rest, and hopefully that will definitely benefit Casemiro's fitness, his, you could say his mentality when it comes to going into the games, and he knows that he's got someone that he can be brought off for if he isn't doing too well, because for so many years now, since Casemiro's been here, we've had no depth. So Casemiro's practically been forced to play as that sixth midfielder for so long now. But why did we sign Ugarte? Now, I've explained about the lack in midfield, but I think it's what Ineos have intended since day one of this summer transfer window. We're building for the future. Ugarte is 23, 24 years old. If he stays at United for the rest of his career, that's a solid 6 to 8 years of Ugarte in his peak. So I'm just hoping that with Ugarte, he's a player that we can, you think back to the previous midfielders we've had. You think back to the likes of Fred, for example. United have lacked a lot of physicality when it comes to quality players. I mean, McTominay, for example, he's a great example. McTominay is a player that is got a lot of strength behind him, but you could say on the ball, his ability isn't as good. Where Ugarte is physical, is good on the ball, is great at tackling. There's so many positive traits that Ugarte has that, you could say that certain midfielders in our squad doesn't. So he's bringing something new. And he's bringing something that we've lacked for years, in my personal opinion. Casemiro was a short-term fix. We always knew this. But Ugarte is coming in for the future. And for whatever little time Casemiro has left at Manchester United, hopefully Ugarte can learn off him like Mainu's learning off him. So I think keeping Casemiro was always the best decision. We saw it at the start of the season, start of the summer transfer window, when you saw the likes of Casemiro being linked to moves away in Saudi. I always thought that was a poor decision, because if we was to sell Casemiro, we'd have to get 2 defensive midfielders in, because you can't just have Ugarte being the lone 6. So when Casemiro does go, I expect us to bring another young midfielder in that can learn off Ugarte, because I think Casemiro will still stay at United for 1 or 2 more seasons. So that gives Casemiro and Ugarte plenty of time to either build a partnership or for Ugarte to be kind of the apprentice towards Casemiro, because Casemiro has played with some of the best midfielders who have ever graced the game. Luka Modric, Toni Kroos, obviously himself as well, because I think Casemiro should be up there and should be talked about as one of the greatest midfielders of all time, especially in that defensive role. For what he did for Real Madrid in that prime Galactico season was incredible. And Casemiro, this is why I've said that if United was to sell Casemiro, it would be a mistake in my opinion, because he has that mentality, he has that quality, and he has that what you need during a rebuild, because that's still what it is. United still need signings to be the very best. But I'm going to make a video in a few days talking about the United's transfer window. It would probably be best to talk about it when the transfer window is over, because, that's because we don't know if United are going to go in for any late players, maybe a free agent like Memphis Depay or Adrian Rabiot. That could be a route United could go down maybe. So we'll have to see, but I will definitely be making a video ranking the outgoings and ingoings when it comes to Manchester United. But with this Ugarte deal, I'm over the moon. Some fans are out there and they're disappointed or they're frustrated because it's took so long. I'm just happy we've got another player. I'm happy we've got a quality player, and I'm happy we've got a player that I've personally been looking at for around 2 years now. I sign Ugarte all the time in my FIFA career mode for a reason. He's a brilliant player, and obviously if he can be anything like he is on my FIFA career mode, then we'll have the best midfielder in the world, because I get into 90, 92 rated. But obviously it is real life, so we need to talk about Ugarte for real. And I honestly think, from what I've seen of him at PSG in the Champions League, or the brief games I saw him when he was at Sporting Lisbon, the player that I see in Ugarte is going to revolutionise our midfield. And I'm over the moon we've finally got a signing of this quality and of this magnitude, because I think that this signing should definitely be talked about as an 8, 9 out of 10 signing. I think he's going to be that good for Manchester United. But anyway, if you made it this far into the video, please make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, as we continue that road to 2,000 subscribers. And as always, comment down below your thoughts on Ugarte, and I'll see you in the next one.